Good morning. I'm Berks County Commissioner Christian Leinbach, and I want to welcome you to our Commissioners Board meeting for October the 27th of 2022. We are broadcasting live via Microsoft Teams live event, as well as BCTV, YouTube, and Facebook Live. At this time, I'm going to take advantage of my role as chair and share a video.
Harper coming up. Not only did he reach the postseason, he's been the best hitter in the postseason. This is the deepest he's ever played. He's one win, and in this case, one swing perhaps, from the World Series. On the seventh pitch, Harper hits one in the air, left center field, back it goes! Harper, the swing of his life! Bryce Harper has the Phillies on the verge of the World Series.
And this is what I was talking about. He can go the other way. The ball was not up. The ball was out over the plate. He's strong enough. He's done it before. He inked a long deal, and this could be the defining moment for Bryce Harper and the Philadelphia Phillies if they win.
So I have one message for the Houston Astros. Houston, you have a problem, and it's called the Philadelphia Phillies. With that, we'll move into the official part of our meeting. I will call the meeting to order. We'll begin with a moment of silence, followed by a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any additions or corrections to the October 20th Commissioner meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. We did have several executive sessions. I do have one correction from last week. On 10/18, the topic also included personnel. On October 20th, personnel. October 25th, litigation, contract negotiations, and personnel. And October 26th, personnel. At this time, I'd like to recognize my executive assistant, Anne Marie Grill, to read the public comment policy.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. Public comment will be accepted in person and through the Q&A function. Please include your first name, last name, and municipality for all comments. Any comments without name and municipality will not be considered. Each citizen can submit one comment. Comment length is dictated by limitations of the platform being used. Teams Q&A, Facebook, and YouTube. In-person comments will be accepted first, followed by comments submitted virtually. The meeting comment period is limited to a total of 30 minutes, including both in-person and virtual comments. This time period may be extended at the discretion of the board. Please be concise. Comments that are germane to county business will be read during the meeting and should not be considered to be interactive dialogue with the commissioners. The county solicitor shall be the final arbiter of whether a comment is germane and should be read. Any commissioner's response to public comment will be done at the discretion of the commissioners.
Thank you very much, Anne Marie. We have no public comment in person on agenda items, and there's no public comment online regarding agenda items. So we will move into the agenda. Item 1, authorizing under that budget department, adopt a resolution authorizing 2022 budget transfers in the amount of $229,137 and 2022 appropriations in the amount of $427,936 per listing dated October 21st of 2022. There are two items listed under Human Resources. Item 1, authorize a salary adjustment effective for Fiscal Officers Group, Department of Emergency Services, and the Commissioner's Department per attached salary adjustment memorandum. And item 2, authorize hourly rate adjustments effective for the part-time Special Operations Group services per the attached memorandum. There are 3 items listed under myself. Item A, adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Andy Rowland, Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania, to the Berks County Industrial Development Authority for a 5-year term expiring on December 31st of 2027. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Thomas McEwen, Reading, PA, to the Planning Commission for a 4-year term expiring on December 31st of 2026. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of David Phillips, Mooresville, Pennsylvania, to the Berks County Agricultural Land Preservation Board for a 1-year term expiring on December 31st of 2023. There are 4 items listed under Commissioner Barnhart. Item A, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Jane Getz, Leesport, PA, to the Berks County Park and Rec Board for a 4-year term expiring on December 31st of 2026. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Lee Olson, Reading, PA, to the Berks County Planning Commission for a 4-year term expiring on December 31st of 2026. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Eileen Costura, Wyomissing, PA, to the Berks County Redevelopment Authority for a 5-year term expiring on December 31st of 2027. Item D, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of James Schlegel, Reading, PA, to the South Central Transit Authority and the Berks Area Regional Transportation Authority for a 5-year term expiring on December 31st of 2027. There's 1 appointment under Commissioner Rivera. Item A, adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Miguel Herrera, Reading, PA, to the Berks County Planning Commission for a 4-year term expiring on December 31st of 2026. There are several items listed under the commissioners. Item A, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Lee Olson, Reading, PA, to the Mount Penn Preserve Partnership Council of Governments for a 4-year term expiring on December 31st, 2026. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute a letter to Pennsylvania Treasury Bureau of Unclaimed Property authorizing Ronald Seaman as Chief Operating Officer to file a claim for unclaimed property and collect same on behalf of Berks County. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing Ronald Seaman, Chief Operations Officer. We need to get that unified. We have 2 different titles and 2 different items. Just get that, if we can get that corrected. I get confused on which it is. So for the record, what is it? You're the position.
It's operations.
So Chief Operations Officer, not to be critical, but I recognize, and I missed that when I was reading through before. So it'd be Chief Operations Officer. And I'll repeat the item C, adopt a resolution authorizing Ronald Seaman, Chief Operations Officer, to execute and file the Pennsylvania Treasury claim form for unclaimed property. Item D, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the following documents. Amendment to Investment Management Agreement between SEI Investment Management Corporation and Berks County Employee Retirement Fund to change the current strategy in place, fee schedule, and confidentiality terms of the agreement. SEI Global Private Assets 6, Collective Investment Trust application form to allocate the portfolio assets in accordance with Portfolio B. And just so everybody understands this was discussed over the course of 2 Berks County Retirement Board meetings, presented at the first one in detail by SEI, then voted, I believe, actually at the September, not the October. We just had the October meeting, but voted for the recommendation of moving to Portfolio B. Otherwise, that might sound like a lot of information that all of a sudden we decided to change. And this has been in the works for several months and dealt with in at least 2 public meetings. Item E, adopt a resolution accepting the resignation of the following Reading Regional Airport Authority board members effective immediately: Mike Setley, Andrew Muller, Raymond Blydenberg, Craig Lutz, Betsy Carlisle, and Pamela Shupp-Mennett. I want to pause for a minute and make something very clear. This is not a sudden transition. This is something that has been worked on for the past couple of years. In June of 2021, the Reading Regional Airport Authority sent a letter to the commissioners unanimously recommending the dissolution of the authority and rather consideration of making the airport a direct report county department. In the early part of this year, and I'm not going to be right on the date, but I think it was around February, I, representing the commissioners, went to an authority board meeting and let them know that we had hired counsel. Dan Becker is here today from Kozloff Stout, and hired a consultant. Subsequent to that, also brought in additional aviation and FAA legal counsel, they're experts in aviation and FAA law, to advise us on the best way to proceed. And we've been working on that throughout this year. In August, I went before the airport authority to ask if there'd been any change in their belief that moving in this direction was the right direction. And they unanimously reaffirmed the recommendation from June of 2021 to the commissioners in August. As a result of that, the recommendation was made to the commissioners by our council that at least transitionally, the best next step was to ask the airport authority members to resign, and you'll see in a moment, to reappoint or to appoint the 3 commissioners and the chief operations officer to serve in 4 of those 7 positions. We're prepared today to announce that the reorganization meeting of the newly constituted authority will take place on November the 15th at 8 a.m. at the airport in the departure lounge, which is the same place the authority has held their meetings for the last number of years. I also want to add that we really do appreciate the dedication and work of the airport authority over the years. These individuals are volunteers. A number of them have their own pilot's license. They are engaged and involved in the airport. We appreciate their work. We appreciate their foresight to see that there was a better way to make the airport an even greater asset to the community. You will see more in the coming weeks. I will add that we will, as an airport authority, the commissioners last week voted, and we will form almost immediately an airport tenant advisory committee. Every tenant at the airport, doesn't matter what type of tenant they are, will have 1 seat on that advisory board, and they will meet monthly with airport management. Zach Tempesco is the airport manager, and with the authority. They'll get an update on what the airport management team is doing, an update from the authority, and an opportunity to share any comments or concerns that they may have. I can assure you the commissioners are ready to hit the ground running. We have a newly released recommended strategic plan yet to be adopted from BBP, consultant that both the county and the authority were utilizing. So I just want everyone to understand this is a good step. This has been done in conjunction with the airport authority. We could not be doing this without the airport's authority's leadership and cooperation. So I have Dan Becker here. Dan, I don't know if there's anything that you want to add to that. If you can step up to the mic, and Justin will make sure it's turned on. Thank you, Justin.
I would just say thank you to the team. Ron and Christine have been fabulous to work with, and they really helped make this move forward, and I believe the decision is the right decision for the county. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan, and thank you for your work. Continuing, and you'll see now there are a number of actions that are related to just what I was talking about. Item F, adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of the Christian Leinbach Commissioner to the Reading Regional Airport Authority, replacing Craig Lutz with a term expiring December 31st of 2025. I need to explain one more thing. As we understand the process from Dan Becker, as we vote on these, the three commissioners are here. We cannot vote to appoint ourselves to an authority. So when each of us are named, the named individual will abstain from that vote. And you know what? I think it might make sense to act on some of these things right now, because otherwise we're going to have to break them apart when we get to the end. So I'm going to start with a vote first on item 383-2022E, accepting the resignations.
Motion to accept the resignations. Motion to accept the resignations.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. Item F, a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Christian Y. Leinbach, Commissioner to the Reading Regional Airport Authority, replacing Craig Lutz with a term expiring December 31st of 2025.
So moved.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain. Item G, adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Kevin S. Barnhart, Commissioner to the Reading Regional Airport Authority, replacing Betsy Carlisle with a term expiring February 13th of 2026.
So moved.
I'll second that motion. The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
The motion carries. Item H, adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Michael S. Rivera, Commissioner to the Reading Regional Airport Authority, replacing Raymond Blydenberg with a term expiring December 31st of 2026.
So moved.
Second. The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
The motion carries. Item I, adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Ronald R. Seaman, Chief Operations Officer to the Reading Regional Airport Authority, replacing Pamela Shupp-Mennett with a term expiring December 31st of 2025.
So moved.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. I will now, if it's okay with my colleagues, continue to read the rest of the agenda, and we can handle that with a motion at the end. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Sure.
Item J, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Glenn Yeager, Reading, Pennsylvania, to the Redevelopment Authority for a 5-year term expiring on December 31st of 2027. Item K, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Dr. Rudy Ruth, West Lawn, Pennsylvania, to the Redevelopment Authority for a 5-year term expiring on December 31st of 2027. Item L, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Eileen Castura, Wyomissing, Pennsylvania, to the Blighted Property Review Committee for a 2-year term expiring on December 31st of 2024. Item 4, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Denise Cummings, West Reading, Pennsylvania, to the Blighted Property Review Committee for a 2-year term expiring on December 31st of 2024. Item N, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Lee Olson, Reading, Pennsylvania, to the Blighted Property Review Committee for a 2-year term expiring on December 31st of 2024. Item O, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Ronald Heim, West Lawn, Pennsylvania, to the Blighted Property Review Committee for a 2-year term expiring on December 31st of 2024. Item P, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Michael Rivera, Reading, PA, to the Blighted Property Review Committee for a 2-year term expiring on December 31st of 2024. Item 2, a motion to authorize execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth on the attached listing dated October 24th of 2022. There are a total of 6 contracts. There's 1 with the Area Agency on Aging. There are 2 with CareerLink. Excuse me. There are 2 with Children and Youth Services and 1 with Information Systems. And item 3, a motion to authorize execution of the payments and electronic transfers is set forth on the Controller's Office voucher listing dated October 27th of 2022.
So motion to approve the agenda as presented with the exception of those items that have already been approved.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Right.
Yes, Commissioner Rivera.
I will be abstaining on item 394.2 2022P, which is my reappointment to the Blighted Property Review Committee.
Sure. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor with the notation from Commissioner Rivera on the 1 abstention, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The motion is carried. With that, we will move to our County Treasurer's report. We have the Deputy Treasurer, Linda Weaver, with us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have an opening balance of $221,434,543.11. We have a balance to clear of $4,740,086.32, leaving us with a balance of $216,694,456.79.
Thank you very much. And we'll turn now to our County Controller, Sandy Graffius, with the Controller's report.
Morning, gentlemen. Okay, our total accounts payable $14,369,504. We had a payroll this week of $4,814,832.29 for a grand total of $19,184,372.29.
Thank you very much, Sandy. We'll move now to our Chief Operations Officer, Ron Seaman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just a few notes on our Parks Department. This Sunday, October the 30th, at the Heritage Center, there'll be a presentation entitled From Philadelphia to Duquesne, the Story of the Forbes Campaign. This was a campaign led by Brigadier General John Forbes in the French and Indian War in 1758 to capture Fort Duquesne. That'll be presented from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And then it's hard to imagine, but just slightly over a month from now, the parks will be open with the holiday lights again. And there's a complete schedule of special events taking place and food trucks that'll be there for the benefit of those visitors. More of that can be found on the Parks and Recreation webpage on the county site or their Facebook page. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ron. We'll move now to Commissioner reports, and we'll begin with Commissioner Rivera.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. Just a few items on my side. Also want to thank the board members of the Reading Regional Airport Authority for their work, for their many, many years of dedication to the Airport Authority. Something I want to clarify, because I've just was asked this morning, and with this change that was voted in today, there is no change to the airport operation. So nothing has changed. The staff continues to work. It's just a change of authority members. So we're not dissolving the authority, and there are no other changes being made to the operations of the airport. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I was asked that this morning. So there may be other questions out there around that as well. Also, this Saturday is the King Frost Parade in downtown Hamburg. It is from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's a long-standing tradition in Hamburg and the surrounding areas. So it's be a lot of people in that event. So if you are in the Hamburg area or enjoy the floats, the marching bands, and everything else that's included in that traditional parade, please be there. Make sure you're there early because it does get packed, and it's from 7 to 10 p.m. I would be there, but the Reading Police Department is also having an event for couples, the police with their spouses, and I will be at that event on Saturday evening. And also remember, elections coming up a week and a half on November the 8th. And one last item is go Phillies. Thank you. And Carmen, sorry for your loss.
Hey, let's go easy on Carmen. She's a Phillies fan today. She is supporting the Phillies. Carmen was an Atlanta Braves fan, and you know what? It could be much worse than that. The Atlanta Braves had a good run, but they ran into the Phillies, unfortunately for them. But no, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody backs their team. With that, we'll turn to Commissioner Kevin Barnhart.
Thank you, Commissioner Weinbach. I too want to thank the members of the Reading Regional Airport Authority for their years of service, especially a member like Mike Sedley, who I think served nearly 20 years, brought a lot of value to the operation. I just want to make a note that 11 a.m. this morning, Commissioner Rivera will be chairing the election board meeting in person and on Microsoft Teams. And just two quick updates I'll have for LNA testing of electronic poll books and our outreach to the United States Postal Service at 11 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to note that I will be in the King Frost Parade. I ride my motorcycle, even in really cold conditions, because it's only 3 miles from my house. So it's got to be really cold to not be able to go 3 miles. But it is a pretty incredible parade. So if you get a chance to come out, I know there already have been some of the Halloween parades, and there are some, I think there's still, actually, are there any? Yeah, there's the Jack Frost. The Jack Frost parade will be next Sunday, but there's some good stuff coming up. I'm going to share my screen again. A couple of weeks ago, I shared my support in standing with South Heidelberg, as well as our district attorney, I believe our sheriff, Representative Barry Joswiak, calling for the closure of the Wernersville Correction Center. Yesterday, I received a video. This video was created by South Heidelberg, and I received this from Sean, the South Heidelberg manager, and I want to share part of this. There's going to be a segment that I'm going to stop and skip over. I want to explain why I'm skipping over it. The F-bomb is dropped several times. It is body cam of local police capturing an escapee from the facility, and just felt BCTV and our standards, we don't want to put that out, so I will be skipping over that. But I think people need to understand this is not something that's just been ginned up in the last couple of months because of a few unfortunate incidents. This has been going on for a decade or more. And if you look at some of the dates of the news stories where you may be able to read it, some you won't be able to, they're from very recent to 10 years or so in the past. So let me bring that up. Hold on, I know what I did. When you share, you have to hit the sound button.
Warrensville, I understand, has had quite the history. This predates my tenure here with the state, and I'd be the first to admit that this has been an adjustment. In our 12 state-run centers, as well as our 43 contract facilities, we provide a range of services, but we recognize that first and foremost, we have to have a safe environment in order to effectively carry out our mission, which is first, public safety, and second, the effective return of those men and women who are coming back from our state correctional institutions to our communities.
The other thing I'd like to point out is that the facility and how these facilities are determined as far as their location, I'm not sure what the process is there, but locating and placing a facility with 200, at one point 300, I believe, individuals, some of them violent. There were sexual predators there at one point until the township raised concern of this issue. That facility is located within 3 miles of local schools. I would ask the committee, is that an appropriate place for a facility like this with people with drug offenses, violent crime offenses? It seems questionable. All of these schools, Conner-Weiser East Elementary, Conner-Weiser Junior High and Senior High, Conner-Weiser Middle School, they are all within walking distance of this facility. And again, as many members of this committee have stated, it's only when issues start to arise, and severe issues. I mean, a bank robbery occurred in our township as an example. It's not a matter of when something bad is going to happen. These things are happening in our community, and they will continue to do so. They'll continue to happen, I guarantee you that. And what can't be quantified with cost is the safety of our residents, the children of our community. And again, with this community, this center, and the long list of issues that have continually happened, I would again question it's within walking distance of schools. Is that okay?
Now, obviously, we're dealing with the human element, so of course there's going to be some little blips here and there.
And again, if you can see these dates, they're all over the page. It's not
Representatives say they have made drastic improvements in the past year and a half.
One of the concerns that was addressed before was the amount of issues in the community. We've met with South Heidelberg, Mr. McKee, and other township officials, and the chief, addressed their concerns. We're working with them, continue to work with them on their concerns, and hopefully some of these changes, they'll see an impact within the community now.
And this hearing's from 2018, and we've had the recent blow-ups out there, multiple cases.
As far as Warnersville, we've made several adjustments. I know you probably saw in the news, making sure that our safety for our reentrants, our staff, and the community is a priority. Obviously, these reentrants do go into the community, and we do have incidents in the community while they're there. However, having said that, we have taken several measures at each of our facilities across the state.
But the measures apparently haven't worked. I'm going to stop the video at this point in time. If you Google South Heidelberg Township, or not Google, go to YouTube, South Heidelberg Township video. This video should come up. It's in the public domain. I encourage you to take a look at it. And especially any type of community leaders, elected officials, we really need to stand, not just with Berks County. This affects much more so the local community of South Heidelberg and those people and entities that are in close proximity to Warnersville Correction Center. I didn't give the name before, but a lot of people know the individual that was last assaulted, Craig Lutz. Craig and Diane Lutz, probably for my wife and I, known them and have been close friends longer than anybody else since 1985. And several weeks ago, his house, he lives almost across the street on 422, was robbed. A lawnmower was stolen. He was looking around. It's kind of crazy, but he saw the guy across the street driving his lawnmower away. I don't know that he put two and two together. He's a little older than I am. He ran after the guy. I guess as he was running, somebody from the facility, security, also came out. When Craig caught up with the individual, he yelled at him something about the tractor, and the guy came up to him and punched Craig right in the face, knocked him to the ground. And as the security officer said, and I actually talked to Craig shortly after the incident because the police were still there when I was talking to him. He got up and he said some few words, but basically he was going to let the guy have it. He didn't, to his credit, but that's unacceptable. And that could have been a lot worse, an older guy or a guy. The security officer said to him, Craig, well, at least you know you don't have a glass jaw. But that shouldn't happen to anybody. And it's, I'm glad that Craig and Diane, that's all they had to deal with, but they live with this every day. The Berks Encore Senior Center, 500 feet, lives with that threat every day. The schools that were mentioned are in close walking distance of that facility, and the record is crystal clear. This facility needs to be closed. So I'm not going to bring more up about it right now. I think, Ron, are we working on getting a letter on an agenda for the commissioners to sign off on?
That was discussed.
I'm recommending that we try to do that if we can for our next commissioners meeting. That I'm already on the record, but I'd like, if my colleagues agree, to put the county on the record that this fundamentally needs to change. Protection of our community is critical, and South Heidelberg shouldn't have to fight this fight alone, and they're not. We've seen a number of officials step forward, but I think we need as a county to stand there right alongside of them. I will note Commissioner Barnhart is a resident of South Heidelberg as well. So that is all that I have. Any comments from our row officers? Hearing none, do we have any public comment in person? And I'm looking online. I have no public comment online. I will accept a motion to adjourn, and just note that at 11 a.m. We will have the elections meeting, and I believe Commissioner Rivera will be chairing that.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
The meeting stands adjourned.